and it's still spinning.
Hi, guys, and welcome back. Thank you for joining us. We are here for The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 6, The Price. Let's get into it. First, I want to say, welcome back, Joel. I have been complaining um, about missing Joel, so I did appreciate that I got to put my eyes on Joel in this episode. So we're gonna get right into it and start with our questions. So, first question: um, what impact, if any, do you guys feel like showing Tommy and Joel's childhood had on this episode? Jermaine is having a dance party.
I want Corey to answer first.
So
I have an answer.
I agree with what you were saying. I was so happy to see Joel because Joel's my favorite character, and seeing the relationship between he and Tommy growing up, it really does put in perspective. Joel really is trying to do the best that he can for Ellie or Elle, whatever her name is, and I wasn't sure if I felt that way until I saw this episode and the expounding of their relationship and how Joel was really willing to do what needed to be done in order to protect him. And we see that carry on into the show. Kind of more, it's like a look ahead, right? To that moment when he knew he was going to die, to stop Ellie from trying to intervene in those last moments, looking at her saying, I got this, I'm gonna take this, even though it was such a dramatic episode or a scene, right? And I don't know if I really got that until that point in this episode.
That's fair. Jermaine.
The sins of the father, dear Lord, the sins of the father. How many generations? 3 generations. So she gonna be the pappy? That damn baby gonna be just like
it's gonna be exactly like them.
That's all I got to say.
Did we talk about generational curses before? We've mentioned that before and some things that we've talked about. Do we think their impulsiveness and how they lead with what they think is right, do you think that can be considered a generational curse? I know for Ellie or Elle. What is the girl name? Is it Ellie or Elle?
Ellie.
Ellie. So we know for Ellie that she's very impulsive, right? And did she inherit that behavior from Joel?
I don't think she inherited that behavior from Joel. However, this is what I want to say about Ellie. She saw Joel, right? Joel became her father figure for all intents and purposes. She didn't really have a father. You know what I'm saying? So she witnessed him. She saw him. She saw how he handled situations. And look, trauma presents itself in all kinds of different ways, and a person latches on to that trauma and they respond to the trauma.
Correct.
And all she's really doing is just responding to the trauma that Joel has basically, force fed her for all intents and purposes. And that is what she knows.
She still gets on my nerves.
Very much so. Very much so.
I appreciated the background with Tommy and Joel simply because I feel like almost everything effed up comes from childhood. The reason why everybody's in therapy is typically behind something in childhood.
I need to go back.
So I appreciated the scene. It made me really love Joel and Tommy even more. Seeing that, and then seeing that, okay, Joel, you've just always been this person, just a natural protector. And so, and Tommy, you've always been this person, just a natural F up, and Joel clean up. But now you've kind of come down and been tamed a bit because of all the life experiences. So I appreciated the backstory.
We'll say too, though, that showing their relationship, I don't feel like a criticism that I have. I do not feel that we've seen the reaction from Tommy quick enough regarding the death of his brother. I feel like we've seen everybody else, right? But we haven't seen that moment for Tommy where the realization hits him that his brother is no longer here, right? And I feel like that maybe they waited a little bit too late, because the next episode is the finale, right? The season finale. So are we going to get this emotional scene, which I'm sure, between he and Ellie regarding Joel, because this is the first time she has seen him in a while. Immediately, I don't think they had a conversation after the initial decision by the council, right? I don't even think they did. She just immediately left. So we've not seen Tommy's dealing with the death of his brother. And how many months have passed? I mean,
it's actually been years.
Okay, yeah. So
I'm sorry. Let me say that you're correct. You're correct. It's only been months. You're correct.
Months have passed, and we just haven't seen that. And I think that it's needed, right, to kind of ground Tommy a little bit in the moment of the loss of his brother.
So I don't really know if I need that, and let me explain why. Tommy, up until this point, Tommy is not an A character. Tommy is a B character, right? And so I don't need Tommy's reaction, because I know what his reaction is / was. And because he's a leader in the community, he has to purport himself in a different way. He's probably like bawling his eyes out when he goes home, when he's with his wife. But to the public, he's moved on. He's doing what he needs to do to be a leader. And so for me, and that's not to say that I don't need a man to show emotion. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm stuck in the reality of the situation where months have passed. And because he's not an A character, I don't need his B character to show me all kinds of emotions.
I do not like the fact that it's been very controlled, even though he is a B character.
Correct.
For me, I would much rather see that display of emotion than them little two girls making out with them weak ass sex scenes. I would have.
I was about to say that.
Seriously, if we're gonna use the film, let it be on something that I want to see, that's gonna get a reaction out of me. And yeah, that's just my feelings on it. I just, I needed something, and Tommy was very controlled for me. But I get the whole, B-type character thing. But again, they could just really keep them junior high sex scenes. I don't need that. Don't need it.
So at this point, I think she's 19. Is she 19? 16?
Well, I'm just saying the way 19. That it's happening is just very childish and low placed, and
I don't need that. I didn't need it at all.
Feel like I'm gonna be reported from watching this. Like this is.
But let me tell you something. When I was in college and I was doing grown man things, it was very grown back then, baby. That's all I got to say.
And it was. It was. Indeed.
Weren't we all?
I was whistling while I worked.
So naughty.
So we talked about Alien, so this is kind of a foreshadowing what I'm about to say, in a way, of some stuff that I've read kind of following the show, that we're actually not going to see her in the next season. She will not be the major character. It will actually be Abby. So this is moving ahead a little bit. What are our thoughts to that? And I think the reason why I'm asking this at this point is we've talked about in other episodes about how we are disappointed in the fact that we have yet to see, we are multiple episodes in, right? And we have yet to see the other members of the group that have basically hunted down Joel, right? We're in episode 6. There's only one more episode left in this season. And the only person that we've seen is the character played by Tati Gabrielle, which, you know, we saw what happened to her. So what are our thoughts about that, right? Is that I'm sure it's purposeful, but do we think that that's the right decision in the way in which, you know, we've been introduced to, but then just kind of left hanging regarding those kids?
I feel like it's been slow moving in a lot of ways, and so I don't know the order in which it's supposed to happen. I haven't played the game, but I would have liked to see more of, I guess, the former Fireflies that did this to Joel, other than my girl, that they completely just wasted her talents by killing her the way that they did so soon. Didn't love that. And I'm gathering it is for a purpose with the writing, but, you know, as a viewer, I wanted a little bit more. And then, like you said, it's about to be over. And so I feel like some of it was kind of slow, a little bit dragged out, and some of the pieces could have just been left out and moved along a little bit better. But that's just me.
So here are my thoughts as it relates to that. So first off, I'm not really mad at it, and let me explain why. 9 times out of 10, I don't know the actors or the actress's name who plays Ellie, but 9 times out of 10, she probably has like some movie roles that she wants to work on, yada 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 yada. Also, they probably want us to want her to come back to the show because after a season of Abby, when she is reintroduced to us, we're going to be ready for her. We're going to want her, and we're going to forget a lot of the things that we've been talking about. And so it'll be right. It'll be appropriate. I think it makes sense. I don't know, however, and let me explain why when I say I don't know about this. Joel, for me, has been that character. Like, he drew me to this show. It wasn't Ellie. It damn sure wasn't Abby. It wasn't even the big worm people. It was none of that. It was him, right? And so season 3, it being all about Abby, it's going to take some time for me to warm up to her. And so far, like, one episode? They gave us one episode?
One episode of Abby.
A whole season? Make it make sense.
Correct.
I feel like I'm all over the place, but at the same time, I don't know if I disagree with it.
I totally agree. I think I will eventually like Abby as a character, because let's be honest, Abby's side is on the right side. They're on the right side of this, right? They were trying to find a cure for this apocalyptic fungus that has decimated the world, and there's only a handful of people that, you know, have this immunity. In the grand scheme of things, we will want to be able to synthesize the proteins in her body, her body's physical response, in order to have a cure, treatment, etc., etc. Now, we don't know for certain if the process would have killed her. It could have just been a plot device, right? But we will never know, because, you know, Joel did not give. We love Joel, but that was some bullshit what Joel did. He could at least killed everybody else and kidnapped the doctor and taken the doctor somewhere and said, hey, listen, you know, do what you got to do to perfect the cure, but, you know, you can't kill her, right? Or whatever, right? But that's not what happened. And so I think at this point in the story, or when we get to Abby, I think that we're going to kind of reconcile with that perhaps the characters that we've grown to love, or the character that we've grown to love, is really, in fact, not the good guy. And we've talked about this theme before. He's not the good guy of the show that we want him to be. We feel for him and we love him as a character, but, you know, so the other issue that I have now is...
So hold up. So this is what I gotta say. So good guys don't always make good decisions. Okay,
That's true.
so when people say good guys and stuff like that, I'm always kind of like, ugh. I don't know how I feel about that because I
Mhm.
know that people are human and they make mistakes.
Right.
In the heat of the moment, he made an emotional decision that, to be quite honest with you, I probably would have done the same thing.
Damn humanity.
Well, listen, I'm still on this, and I'm gonna keep being on this. We don't know for certain that it would have worked. It was
Right.
taking a huge risk, and so that's putting a lot on. Okay, I've become attached to this child. I've already had a child plucked away from me, and so Joel has a myriad of feelings going on. So I would have probably reacted emotionally as well, and I do believe that people are walking, talking axioms. You can be an asshole, you can be a saint, all at the same time, you
Yeah,
know?
I can see that. I can see that. So we do have some more questions, lightning round questions, if you will. What do we think has been so far this episode? What has been the most heartbreaking moment? Do we think the end porch scene with Joel and Ellie, or Eugene? What happened with Eugene? Who do we feel more for? Was it Eugene or was it um, the last moment between Ellie and Joel?
I will
Oh
say
yeah.
this. I was grateful that they brought that Eugene scene in because that made me know why the therapist is like, you, Joel. I
Right.
understood after that. Um, and so to me, that was a really probably more heartbreaking for me. That scene with Eugene because you have Ellie and Joel pretty much at odds about how this needs
Mhm.
to go, even though he kind of pacifies her in the moment so he can go ahead and do what he needs to do. And so just him having that moment of knowing he's never going to see his wife again, and Joel having to pull the trigger because you know cost outweighs benefit. I can't take this risk, so I have to do it. And so there was a lot happening all at once. So that one was kind of really heartbreaking for me.
Okay, so for me, I hate to be the contrarian. Um, so
We
I think the scene between Ellie and Joel was the heartbreaking moment because I don't. Okay, so I don't know if I would characterize it as being heartbreaking, as much as I would say it was a realization of who each of those characters actually were. Um, at that particular point, it wasn't until that point that Ellie fully realized who and what Joel was, and so that for me, um, it and you marry it with the fact that she was like, I don't know if I can forgive you like now or whatever, but I'm open to like making those. It was at that moment where I was just like,
Mhm.
oh wow. So in this little 19-year-old body, she really looks like she's 12. In this 19-year-old body, she's acting as if she's 35 years old. You know what I'm saying? And it was because of the decisions that she made in that moment that made me say, "Oh my goodness!" So everything that happened after that night had so much more significance because she was like, forget, our disagreement from the night before. It's Joel, and I'm riding for Joel no matter what. And
Mhm.
that is what crystallized the moment for me.
I kind of agree with you on that. For me, I've been mad at Joel. I've been mad up to this point. I was mad at Joel. I was mad at her. And in that moment, it really kind of everything clicked at the everything that was left unfinished between them, right? It just really kind of really honed in on that. And I think the unfinished business for them was a little bit more meaningful to me than Eugene, because ultimately, Eugene had about 30, 45 more minutes, maybe a couple hours. Anyway, so, I mean,
What
maybe
was
he
it?
might have.
Count to what did they
count to
count to
10
10?
slowly.
I was like, what the hell is this? What's going on with that? I don't understand that.
That's the same test that they gave Ellie. Remember? When,
That was I thought that was weird, and they didn't explain that. How did she know that, and what was the significance of that? I thought that was kind of odd too. I thought maybe I just missed it, but
yeah, maybe it has something to do with once the virus or whatever sets in, you become disoriented, you shake or something. I don't know, but I guess she said they.
But how does she know that, right? What makes her the authority to be able to say, "Oh, everything's fine. He has time." She don't know.
One way or another. Well, I wonder how long they have been doing the test to her, to where she feels like she's an expert.
So, okay, so this kind of leads us to the next question: was Ellie right to expose Joel's lie to Gail? Yes or no?
I don't think it was a goddamn gone betrayal. She was wrong. She didn't have to play Joel out. Like, Joel was dead ass wrong. Let me be very clear. I'm very biased, much like with the stat. If I like it, I like it. And I will come up with a way to be the best PR person for you that I can possibly be. I will make it sound like you can fly a plane and you ain't never did a sin in your life. You did not. So, it was a betrayal.
Really
It was a betrayal. We could have talked about this at home. You could have called me on this. You could have, hey, give me the opportunity. Don't corner me. I need you to roll with my lie in the moment. And then,
okay, friend. Okay, friend. I see how you rolling. Okay, friend.
But
I thought the same thing. I was like, ooh, you taking our business and you putting it out on Front Street like that? No, you taking house business and bringing it out into the world? Nah. I don't think. Yeah, well, going in my house, stays in my house, and I that's kind of how I felt, because her telling Gail that or revealing that truth did nothing for Gail. Absolutely nothing, because ultimately her husband is still gone. And he would have been gone if it was 20 minutes later, 45 minutes later, 60 minutes later, or an hour and a half, right? The end result would have been the end result, because there was no guarantee that Eugene would even made it back to the village. Now, did Joe could have waited? He could have waited, right? And to be certain, had him walk 10 feet ahead or whatever, but but Ellie did not have to blow it like that, and I think that really damaged. That was the beginning, really, to where she kind of started to get this sense of Joel and the mistrust, and what really led to their falling out.
So, I agree with both of you. No, don't do that to me. Mm-hmm. Don't do that to me. I've
saved your life too.
And you gonna do this to me in public in front of all these people? That ain't what's up. So I did not think that she was justified in that particular moment. However, I understood her anger, and I'm not gonna say that she was justified, but I understood her anger. That's what I'm gonna say.
You can be angry.
I totally understood her anger.
You can be angry at the crib. You talk about this at home. I was so mad at her. I would have not been mad if Joe would have backhanded her. Like, oh my goodness.
One thing I would say is that up to this point, like the last couple of episodes, we've gotten spotted excursions where we have seen these zombies, the cordyceps, right? Or the cordyceps infected humans. And up to this point, it's almost as if you kind of forget a little bit about what's actually going on, the apocalyptic nature of the situation that they're in. And really, we are applying our thoughts about what should have been done in a normal everyday life sort of situation, right? But in the time that this show is being the circumstances around what's going on in the show a lot of what we would normally do is going to be suspended because people are just trying to survive, right? And I just feel that Ellie, even though she knows and has experienced nature of what's going on, I don't know if she fully realizes everything, right? You know, like I just feel like her character is just so. Ugh. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
You've been doing so good.
So, I don't dislike her character. I'm just saying I feel like she doesn't quite, even though she should. I don't know if she understands the gravity of the situation and the circumstances, and there was reasoning behind Joel believing and acting in a way that he did, right? And I don't know if the show really showed that.
She might feel differently if she were not immune. You know, she can
exactly.
That's true too. That's true too. That is true.
Exactly. So Joel is coming from, so in my mind, Joel is coming from a perspective where he's been in different societies where they have been laxed in how they dealt with the management of these, what do y'all call them, cordyceps, mushroom people, whatever.
Cordyceps.
And so over time, he's just built this idea that no, every single opportunity that you can to cut something off, you do it, and you don't think about it. You just do it because it's actually saving more lives than not. All right. And so in my mind, as I was watching all of that, I was like, shit, he's doing the right thing. It's not the thing that people want to see. You want to see this man talk to his wife because he loves her, or in his words, he needs her to help him, transition or what have you. But fuck that shit. You could go into our town and kill everybody. No.
Correct.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. That's how I felt. I was like, that was part of the frustration, that's also part of the frustration with the show, because I kind of think the show kind of leads you down this emotional road of between the characters, but the height of tension with the zombies is kind of the back burner. This is more so a show about, oh yeah, there's an apocalypse going on with zombies, but we're focusing on the relationships and all the other kind of stuff that's going on. It's kind of like Walking Dead in a way, like the way that they've kind of designed the show. But even then, Walking Dead made the zombie threat more pertinent to the actual everything that's going on in the show. The real danger in this show is the people.
I mean, real life. You got fucking Republicans cutting Medicaid and Medicare.
Fact is stranger than fiction.
You're right. So at this point in the show, do we think that The Price was a top tier episode or a mid-season slow burn? Like, with the flashbacks, and when we talk about flashbacks, the guitar gift, the science museum, the museum trip, et cetera, all the Tommy and Joel, did it slow down the action and the pace considering the previous episode?
So you actually have about 5 different questions roll into one.
I know I do.
So did they slow down the pace? Yes. Did they add in a lot of Easter eggs from the video game? According to what I saw after the show, yes, that's exactly what they did. I get it. I understand it. However, I really do believe that this particular episode, while it might not be top tier, I think it's better than the average. And the reason for it is because of the flashbacks, because we're able to see and understand where these characters are coming from, and what and how that, not transpired, but how it moved their character along in this television show. Everything made sense for us. And so, boom, okay, I get it. I understand all of these emotional elements that is playing into this, and that's playing into the tension of this show. And so I appreciated this particular episode. I really do think, however, this is my however, I think that this could have been done in episode 3.
Yes. Instead of us sitting here wondering about, okay, did we miss something in the previous season? Like, who the hell is Eugene? Why is he? Was Eugene some other character that we didn't that we missed? You know, wondering why there was all this tension when that could have been addressed early on, right prior to us meeting the character of Gale. So we know, okay, there's going to be some tension, or we can kind of glean what's supposed to happen. I totally agree. I agree. It was needed, but I also did feel like it was a little bit of a slow burn because prior to that, we saw what happened to the Tati Gabrielle's character, right? And so I anticipated something else to proceed, you know, to follow that.
I'm gonna do a Britney and say I agree with what Jermaine and Corey said. I'm gonna do the cop out right there. No, but seriously, I do feel like this episode could have been placed somewhere else. There were several elements that I did enjoy. And I was happy to see Joel again. I'm gonna keep going there, but it was a bit slow. It was, especially like you said, this late in the season. I needed a little bit more action, but you know, I don't regret the episode. I'll say that. I don't regret the episode.
No, I love the pieces that we did get. I just need, for me, when we get in, especially with such few episodes in a show like this, I almost feel like it needs to race towards the finale in order to kind of keep us kind of geared up and ready for, you know, season 3 in 2 years, right? So this next episode, hopefully it will ramp up the tension, ramp up the zombies, ramp everything up to the next level to a certain extent, so that it will lead us to that point where we're like, I can't wait to see the next season. Right now, I'm like, we'll watch it when it come out, right?
Like, and there's only one episode left.
There's only one episode left. It's not even 8 episodes. Normally, you know, shows have been giving you 8 episode seasons. It's only 7.
Say 7 is the number of completion. That's all you get. There you go.
Baby,
so
7 better be 20 on a 10-point scale.
Say it again.
It better be a 20 on a 10-point scale.
Yeah.
Better give me 20 centimeters.
So we talked about the flashbacks and the impact on. I looked at the time. It's almost your bedtime. I know why you acting like that.
Are you not happy with me? Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
You're not happy with me?
It sounds like it's bedtime. There's some nocturnal emission that's happening while you was awake.
Help us, oh God. The flashback MVP. Did we enjoy the guitar gift or the science museum trip? Did either one of those flashbacks between the relationship between the two of them, did those spark any type of memories, or could they have been left on the cutting room floor?
Before you answer, Elliot, Books Girls in Paris says, "Sorry, I'm late. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of part of the story being out of order. Seeing these moments from the past don't feel revealing. It should have been shot in chronological order. Joel's death would have left more painful."
Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry,
Welcome,
Elliot.
Welcome. We're lamenting this episode, but also loving pieces of it at the same time. So
right. In true Corey T fashion. True Corey T fashion.
Listen, I don't know if I like this edit that I'm getting. I'm gonna have to change it.
Be you, Corey. Be you.
100%. It is so welcome. So all of it was so thoughtful. I am like such a big person when it comes to gift giving, and so everything that he did has so much thought behind it. So like you have the and I hate to be a fence straddler, so it's hard to pick. So you have the guitar, like all the parts that went into getting this done, and the lessons. So even now that he's gone, she has that with her. He taught her how to play. So that's huge. Then you have, okay, wow, you found this entire museum. You know, she's got to really be a kid, you know, and so it was just amazing watching that joy. You know, she's having to run around the entire season trying to be an adult, growing up too fast. And so having him slow her down, you know, I appreciated that. So I don't think I can pick a side with this one. These were both like heavy hitting gifts, and it just made me love Joel even more. It's like, oh my God, do you need a daughter?
But likewise, it also made you pissed when she turned on him in those instances when she did, and how she reacted to certain things throughout these pieces of the show. You know, because these things happened prior to the blow up, right? And you know, it's like she forgot all of that in her moments of illness.
Okay, so to answer your original question, Corey, I think the guitar, him giving her the guitar and carving the moth into it and all of that, I think that was more special only because they've made a point of her playing the guitar at least twice on this particular show. I realized that the space cap, say the word I'm trying to say. Caption.
Space capsule. What the hell we talking about? Okay, I got it.
The space capsule was cool. The space capsule was cool. Okay, so I recognize that it was cool and all that, but I think that the him giving her the guitar and taking the time to get all of it. I mean, he basically did the same thing with the space capsule. Too, but like he handcrafted that moth. You know what I'm saying? That's blood, sweat, and tears, right? And it's something that she's able to use even now to even get Dina. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, all of that to me was a bit more special than the capsule. You know what I'm saying?
I could have done without the capsule. I like the guitar the most. I could have done without the whole science museum trip. I ain't care much for that, but I did love the guitar. I love what he did and the effort put into the museum trip. But you know, I kind of would have preferred seeing some people killed by the zombies. Actually,
they had to cook the capsule thing out.
You all about the gore, Corey. You are all about the gore. And I said I wasn't gonna say nothing because this is like the third episode in a row where you talked about it. You want to see some people dying. Corey wants to see people dying. And I want to see people crying.
Find a teacher and ask them to see they paint the people crying. It's real tears.
So I guess one of our final questions is going to be: do we think that Ellie will forgive Joel completely by season's end? By this last episode, do we think that the forgiveness factor is going to kind of kick in? How do we feel if we can look into time by a couple days and know what's going to happen in the final season episode? What do we think is going to happen to transition us or to get us ready for the season of Abby, as we know that's coming? How will Ellie forgive Joel? Second part of that question: how do we think that forgiveness or lack thereof is going to position us as we move forward into the next season?
Based on her scene with my girl, I can't remember what they called her anymore now in this show. The one who from Sabrina. Oh, I can't.
Tati Gabrielle?
Yes. So
with Nora. I think her name is Nora in the show.
Based on that scene with Nora, I feel like she's already forgiven Joel. And so with that whole dialogue between the two of them, you know, her essentially torturing her before she dies or what have you, and revealing to her like, I already know what he did, you know.
Mhm.
And so she's on this revenge quest to avenge Joel. So I think she's forgiven him already. And so I'm wondering if by the time we get to the finale, her and Abby are gonna have some type of face off. I don't know if Abby's gonna get away again or something. I don't know. But I'm really hoping it's gonna be action filled. Even if the gore isn't there, I still need some action. I don't know. I need her to pinch a bite or something. I need something to happen. Other than you know, everything being a tearjerker. Yeah. I need
pinch a bite or something.
Because let's be clear. In Hand to Hand, I do believe Abby will skull drag Ellie.
She will. She is going to skull drag her. Just a little teaser. We are not expecting Ellie to come out on top in this fight because she is not hard enough, and she's just not it. And it's actually a plot point for the show, based on the game. A little bit of a spoiler, but it's not a big one because if you watch the show, we know Abby gonna beat her ass. I kind of want to see it a little bit, actually.
What was your question?
I don't remember now. No. Will Ellie forgive Joel by the season?
Okay, so I agree with Ellie. Yeah, she's already forgiven him, right? She's already, especially like once he died, like she had forgiven him. For all intents and purposes, she had forgiven him. She was willing to forgive him, right? Which meant that she was going to in time, right? So
yeah,
for me, put that to the side. She's trying to avenge him. So yeah, she's forgiven him. All right. Now, what do I expect?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if season 3 is going to be all about Abby, I expect that the season finale of season 3 is going to be the two of them tussling, baby. And this is what I expect to have happened. In the interim, Ellie is going actually grow some gonads to become the daddy. Okay, that's what I expect. That's what I expect. Because otherwise, I agree with you, Corey. She ain't ready for what Abby got to give. She ain't ready because she was too busy being a kid and doing the dumb shit when she should have been training, when she should have been doing everything that she should have been doing, like everybody else. But because she wasn't, she ain't ready for Abby right now.
Right. And Abby's been in that life, right? She's been training. She's been doing the things, right? She's had a group of like-minded people around her that have not coddled her and kept her away from the danger and done all the things, right? They've been running it head first into the danger, right? But we know that hasn't been the case for.
But Ellie, can I say, in terms of the entire season, let me just say this. I know you all are ready to get off because it's kind of late. But all of these characters that they've introduced us to in season 2, I am upset that they have not done their part to basically introduce us to these characters. They've introduced us to these characters a little bit, but I need more, and they're not giving me more. These are A1 actors and actresses, or just actors, however you want to say it. These are A1 actors, and they are playing them so small. Even the fact that they got rid of your girl Nora, that made absolutely no sense. How the hell how you gonna hire an actress to play 2 episodes of her caliber? That makes no sense to me.
Nope.
To me,
it's like they're wasting talent.
Yes. Books, Girls, and Purse says, laugh out loud, elevated goals from Jermaine floating on another planet. Daddy L. Okay. I'm floating on another plane. Oh, the background. Okay. Okay. I was like, I'm sorry, Corey. I cut you off.
No, you're right. I think that, and even the other actors that are supporting Tati's character, Abby, because her performance has been amazing. Us seeing them and their experience in the waste of this apocalyptic world, would highlight what's going to happen to them. And maybe we will get that in season 3 if the focus is going to be on Abby, and it'll be the people surrounding them and attending, etc. That's on the other side of the world, right? Because they've been teasing some other conflicts, like with the scars, etc. That I anticipate seeing more. That we'll see more of that when we get to Abby's season. I think it's going to happen. I think Elle is going to be beat to probably an inch or two within her life, and she's probably going to be in a coma or something. Or, Tommy and Dean or whatever going to have to drag her back because she, Abby would have skull stomped her, right? Or to something to that effect, right? So that's what gives us the leeway for the show to shift to Abby, because we know Elle's getting stronger. She's doing all the things that she needs to do in order to,
You know what I want to see? I want to see that they are back in their own community, and Tommy and Rutina Wesley's character are knocking boots. That's how I want that episode to start.
Oh, that would be so weird.
Weird? How so?
To me, they just don't go. Like, they just don't.
I think they do. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, like thinking about it.
Yeah. I kind of like Jesse.
I don't think I've seen enough of the sexual chemistry. Like they're getting the politics and stuff going, and so to me they're not believable as a couple for real. Like, not with the sexual chemistry. It's there's love there, like I can feel that, but I don't get the sexual. I'm not getting that y'all going home and making music on the wall. I'm not getting that from them. I'm like, okay, let's go to another board meeting, and I'm not.
Some couples are like that.
Huh?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The most reserved people are the freakiest people. That's all I can say.
I have my reservations.
I mean, we haven't really seen anything from Jackson, so we don't look at on Jackson.
That was like 2 comments in one. I love it. Jesse is sexy, but it's something about his eyes. I don't know about them eyes. They look too close together.
You know what? Hit the button. You have to go to bed.
And on that, thank you for joining us for a talk on episode 6 of The Last of Us, season 2, episode 6. We will catch you later for the finale. Bye, y'all.
Oh, wait. We got a comment. Wow, wallflowers pollinating. Like, yes, you understand me.
Birds and purrs gets it. She gets it.
She does.
Until next time, yo. Big ass mushroom people.
Right.
Bye, y'all.
Speaking of mushrooms.